we also have some big news coming out of the creative world. AI video generation company Runway has just inked a groundbreaking deal with Lionsgate, which is a major Hollywood studio behind popular movie franchises like John Wick and Twilight. Now, what's notable here is this partnership marks the first public collaboration formally between a generative AI startup and a major Hollywood studio, though there have been plenty of conversations between studios and OpenAI, et cetera. Now, under this agreement, Runway will train a custom video model using Liongate's extensive movie catalog. The studio's creative talent, including filmmakers and directors, will gain access to this AI model to enhance their work. Vice chairman at Lionsgate, Michael Burns, emphasized the potential for this technology to augment the creative process. Now, Runway is also exploring ways to license these models as templates, allowing individual creators to build and train their own custom models. Now, Paul, we've talked about this issue a couple different times in a few different contexts, but this seems notable given that it's the first major Hollywood studio to just kind of openly sign this kind of deal. Like, does this open some floodgates? Like, is it now acceptable to embrace AI in Hollywood creative work at least?
Yeah, and the Wall Street Journal article on this actually went deep. We'll put the link in, and they basically talked about how Lionsgate felt they had to do this. That
Mm,
this is probably one of many near term deals that's going to be announced. That OpenAI with Sora has been in
Sora,
talks
yeah.
with major studios. That yeah, I would imagine Google is probably in talks with different studios. With Veo, I think is their video generation model. Um, yeah, I think that we are just gonna see a flood of these kinds of deals. We've been
Yeah.
hearing about them on the tech side with deals with different media publishers to give, AI model companies access to not only the training data, but to real-time data that they can surface within their, chatbots. And so I think on images, on video, on music, one by one, at the end of the day, these companies have two choices: sue these AI model companies for training on their data, or work with them and make money. And I think one by one, they're going to choose to work with them and make money model. Um, and so, yeah, I think that there's going to be a lot more of these. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Like the idea of Runway being able to train on Lionsgate data
Mm,
and then potentially maybe through a joint venture offer that custom trained model to
right.
other movie studios who can't do the big deals. Like there's a lot of layers to this that I find really intriguing. And that's why I wanted to, throw this in as a main topic is I think it is a prelude to a lot of other conversations we're going to be having over the next year, like on the different episodes
Yeah.
about the next big deal that was done. And then as we start to learn how these deals play out and the implications of them. Because even in the Wall Street Journal article, they said that there was initially they're going to use Lionsgate's going to use it for internal purposes like storyboarding, laying out a series of graphics to show how the story unfolds, and eventually creating backgrounds and special effects like explosions for the big screen.
Mm,
So they're taking this kind of long game approach here of let's get this model trained and then we can start using it ourselves. If it works really well, we'll start putting it into the films and maybe we'll create background characters with it. We'll create background scenes, extend scenes like after production has ended and we miss something, we can go back and recreate it. Like there's so many applications of this in movie production and video game production is the other one
yeah.
we'll be talking a ton about. So this is going to be a big topic moving forward, and it sort of runs in parallel with the legal challenges and copyright stuff. Um, but I think you're going to get a lot more headlines about this sort of thing in the near future than you are any progress on the legal fronts that impacts the training of these models.
Yeah. And what I like about this topic too is regardless of how you feel about it, which is very valid and important if you think it's good or bad or ugly, it shows you what's actually happening. Like you look at what people are doing, not what they're necessarily saying. Like this is clearly, we can't beat them, so we're joining them move. They say it's going to augment everything in creative work required for these, but also recall I'm no expert on Hollywood economics, but I know they're not great a lot of times. So, they're under immense pressure. So when you get these factors coming together, I don't know, you do the math.
Yeah, and they talked in the Wall Street Journal article about it being able to save like tens of millions of dollars a year in production costs and different things. So yeah, there's a real business case for this.